Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today I'm very excited to be covering Pro Basketball Manager 2023, a game series that I've covered the last two iterations of, and I will put cards and links to those videos in the description below. And I'm very happy to report that these games keep getting better with each iteration. As always, we'll look through the options first and then we'll jump into the game and I will say what I like, what I don't like, pros and cons of the game. Again, it is most important for me to put out there that a lot of these critiques that I have of games like this generally are subjective. However, if there are objective things that I feel that need improving for the game's longevity and the game's success, then I will try and make that as obvious as possible. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get our teeth sunk straight into this pretty damn good management sim. Alright then, your options. Again, there's not a huge amount of graphics options per se, but it's a management game. A lot of it is text-based. You're not going to really want like the most realistic of graphics, and so it's not going to require that much. However, you are going to want a decent CPU for this, because the more teams you allow in the simulation, the more parameters that you have, the larger the scope, the more your CPU is going to be taxed. This is a very CPU heavy game. However, what you do have is you can put the game in window mode if you like. You've got your language here. You've got currency. You've got US, Canadian, Japanese, British pound, and Chinese yuans. I do believe that they've actually added more currency from the last game, but it has been a while since I've actually logged in. Height unit, you've got centimeters and feet. Weight, you've got kilos and pounds. Now, again, I actually got a lot of flack last video for pointing out that it doesn't have stones or other units of weight in there. And I got told, why would I want to, etc. Again, subjective thing. But in my opinion, having something that we have and we use still would be really, really nice, just as an added extra. But again, like, it's a subjective thing. It doesn't need it, but it would be nice to have it. You've got do not play the music when launching game. The music in the game, if I remember rightly, wasn't the best last time. And in the first game, there was no music at all. So it's nice that they've added it and made it better. The soundtrack's actually pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. It's very chill, very relaxing. You've got your skill level parameters, obviously. More skill level, harder the game's going to be. And then you can display the games either away and home or home and away, depending on which sort of way you prefer. You can send anonymous reports to the game developers if you so desire. You've got display of odds. So you've got decimal, British and American format there. Again, really nice. Simplified trades. If you're new to the game, you're going to want to switch that on. Complicated trades or full trades are... they're difficult. They're a lot to wrap your head around. You've got music and your volume in just general and in the menus as well. And then you've got date format based on your language, which I really kind of like. Or you can just basically go whichever way you prefer, American or British. Then you've got your game options here. This is where you've got some of your graphic options, but again, the 3D games, they're not amazing, but they're a damn sight better than they were last time. You've got your animations on billboards, volume sound effects in games, volume fans in games, quality of fans, quality of stands, highlight the player with the ball. Honestly, if I was to say something that they could improve on here, would be to change the highlight color or give us an option for a highlight color. It's very obtruse and very in your face. I'm not a huge fan of the way they do it, but you can just switch it off. And then you've got effects on the ball. The effects on the ball aren't terrible. Again, for the type of game this is, I'm actually quite impressed. And then you've got your shortcuts here that you can change if you so desire as well. And then you just save and exit, and you're done. Very, very happy with this options menu. They keep adding more each time, and that is really, really nice to see. Let's jump into the main game and see what it's all about. We'll look through each of the options, and then we'll look at the 3D gameplay to show you how that works. Alright, so this is possibly the place where they've made the least amount of changes. There wasn't really much need to make any changes. You've got your information about you and, you know, who you coach for, etc. You've got your history down here in general, and then you've got all these different options down here, which I'm fairly sure they had before. What I will say is that it looks a lot cleaner and a lot sharper than last time, and everything works much better. One thing I will say is that load times are an issue in the game, but again, like I said in the intro, it's a very CPU intensive game. There's a lot of information for your computer to process, and that can cause some loading time issues, if you like. If you want to reduce that, reduce the amount of information you've input into the game, etc. So you've got your messages here. This is the main screen you're going to be looking at. This is what tells you your balances and your objective for the league, etc., and any other things that may or may not come through. You've got your play screen here. And what's nice is that you can have the tutorial switched on, so it will tell you what you're supposed to do in each one, and you can create the play, and you can import them from different saves and stuff. You can load them in. I really like that. That's a really nice addition to the game. You've got your tracking list here, which does take a while to load in. And basically what tracking list is if you are looking for a player, you basically track them, and you can keep an eye on their progress and see if they're looking for a new club or anything. You've got your search here, so you can search for players that you want. You can filter it, so you can filter by gender and, you know, plays in, etc., which is kind of cool. And then you've got your display here, so you can show what sort of attributes that you want to sort of filter by, so it's further filtering, which is nice. And then it sorts it automatically by age order, but you can sort it by age, nationality, position, etc. So again, a lot of information here. If they've been scouted already, you can see if they're good players or not. As you can see, we've got like a couple of 4.5 stars in our squad already. Then you've got your team. As you can see, you've got players here, so you've got your main squad, your tactics, which you're going to use. You can switch between what they are. One thing that would be nice is if you could set more than one person to a role. At the minute, if I want to set maybe a substitute to defense by normal, it will remove that role from the main guy. It would be nice if you could set them as substitutes but have them in that role, so if you're not really looking at the names or anything, you can just look at what position they're playing and go like, oh right, cool, yeah, I want to switch them for them, that for that, that for that, etc. That would be a nice addition, is if you could have more than one. You got your training schedule here. You can do it individually, or you can just set a general training schedule here, show how intensive it is, and then you've got your team training schedule here, and show how much of an overall training schedule you've got. Again, very, very nice. Or what you can do is you can just let your assistant coach do that for you, which is, again, a really nice thing, and you find that on most, if not all, management games. You got your schedule here, so this will show you when you're playing friendly games, and then when you're back in your league, European League, etc. You can see everybody you're going to be playing against, and you can see your scores here as well. As you can see, we actually lost the first round, which is really annoying. I think that was a couple of mistakes I made because we were winning, and then I made some changes. Don't know anything about basketball, and subsequently lost. You got your rankings here, so you can sort of see who you're going to be playing against, the evolution of the standings, etc., and all your standings in each of the leagues. Your finances, this is going to be a very important page. You're going to have to monitor this very, very carefully, because it will show your budget, how much budget goes out to payroll and how much is not being used, and that will change month to month. You can see how their values are down here. You can see if you're losing or gaining. Obviously, the more people you get into the stands, the more you're going to make money. Your objective page here is very nice, very visual. The thing that I really like about this game is that it makes it very clear what it is you have to do. So if you're not very adept at knowing basketball, or if you don't follow basketball, you can still get a good idea and still play the game and get a good grasp on everything. It makes it very, very easy to pinpoint what it is you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and I really, really like that. It's very simple but very elegant in what it does. You got your facilities here, so you can see how much you would need to make an extension, and the more extensions you make, the more fans you can get in. The more fans you can get in, the more money you make. And I really like this. I like the fact that you can build expansions and make kind of cool stuff. And then you've got your statistics here of your attendance and everything, and then on game, so you can see how much people are spending, what they're making. So you've got your beers and fries and everything, so you've got your stands here, you can see where they are, you can change them all. It's very, very in depth, and I really like that. It really takes into account the sort of feel of running a club. You run everything, you don't just run the team, you run the day-to-day business of everything. And you can change the prices of what you're selling here as well, including entertainment. So you can start getting entertainment in if you so desire, and you can see how much it costs per game. But again, more of them that you get, the better, right? So we're now spending a lot, hopefully we can bring some more in, etc. Then you've got your staff, so you can see what staff you've got here. So we've got plus training because I bought a assistant coach. I brought them in. Then you can get the condition and recovery if you hire them. As you can see, you've got these people here. So if we click on him, we can see this preferred job, physio, etc. And you can make an offer. There you go, monthly salary 3,000. Send. And that will show you what's happening. You can cancel it from there. And then you've got your prospects on this page as well, so you can see anybody that you are looking to maybe get, be it from training or from a coaching perspective, etc. Which is nice. I like how easy it is to go through and see all of this, and you can change what country they're from, etc. And you've got all your filters down here as well. And then all you've got down here is your national team. Now, I don't know whether this is because it's not very accurate or whether it is very accurate, but it doesn't seem to have an English team, which is fair. I get it. There is a bit of a bug going on here, as you can see. No data to display, but all the text has gone weird. I think I've broken it. I think I've broken the players page. But then, yeah, you can go through tactics and training. Yeah, the players page is buggy on here. I don't know if anybody else is having this issue, but I certainly am. Then you got your tactics, training, schedule, objectives, and your potential national team players here as well. So you're managing 2 teams and an entire stadium. There's a lot. Now, what you can do is you can skip it day by day. So you can just simulate, or you can click on the calendar and you can choose your next game and just skip straight to there. What I will say is that simulation is not a fast process. It takes a fair amount of time for you to get to the point that you get into. It's not a very fast process, and again, I feel that's because of the amount of information it's processing, and it is a very CPU intensive game, as I've said before. It would be nice if the simulation was quicker, but it's not the end of the world either. And then, as you can see, we've got your new here, and then we'll go into a game. So what I'll do is I will set up a game, and I will show you how the game works and the commands that you can do in game, etc. Alright then, so this is your simulation stream game thing. You've got your players here who are active on the left hand side, and the ones that you're able to sub for. You've got your timeout button here, you've got your tactics button, you've got your basic quick orders of what you want to send out. You've got your individual players that you can shout to, and then you've got your sort of your display of each individual stats, and then you've got your settings here for the camera you want to use. You've got a number of them, which is really nice. So you've got 2D horizontal, 2D vertical, stands east, stands north, stands south, stands west, and TV. Then you've got your sounds on, so you can have them muted if you like. You can highlight the player with the ball and effects on ball. And then you can exit the game if you so desire from here as well. And then you've got your speeds. So we're going to put it on fastest speed possible. This is what I was saying about the highlighter. I really don't like it. It doesn't look good. It looks almost cheap. It's a shame because the rest of the simulation actually looks really good. it actually doesn't look too bad at all. Like, if we slow it down, they've got their each individual animation. They're all running around. Like, it's pretty good. It's just that the highlight is just not very nice to look at. I feel that if you could change the color of it, if you had that ability to customize it how you so desired, I feel it would probably look a lot better. But that's just, again, that's just a subjective change. And as you can see from here, you've got the stands, and you can see how full they are. You can see whether they're going to be, you know, how much possible money you'll be get. You can display the statistics here at any time, which will pause the game. And then you can, like I say, if you want to call out individual actions, or you can substitute from here. The one thing I will say is that games are quite long. You've got each individual quarter and section, or whatever they're called, and you can issue orders at each of these breaks. But even on fastest speed, it does take a while. Like, I ended up simulating the last game because of how long it was taking. If you're into that, if you like watching it, and if you're into basketball, you're probably not going to have an issue with that. But just know that simulation is an option. And there you go. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's got decent tactics. You can change it from 3 out, 2 in, 4 out, 1 in. You can change the tempo, so you can make it max, and you can reduce the shot repetition. You can change whether it's going to be an offensive or whether it's not going to be an offensive. And then you've got different individual actions that you can, you know, send to people. So you can tell them to shoot at will or not shoot at will, etc. And I really like that. I like how much control you've got over it as you're going through. As you can see here, you've got all, you can make it smoother or tighter on the ball possession. You've got literally just an absolute ton of options that you can do. And if you know anything about basketball, that's going to be really good for you. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just pressing buttons at the minute, but I'm having fun doing it. I like management games, even though I'm not a huge fan of sports. And down here you've got the score, and you can see, you know, that we're in the first quarter, etc. And then, like I say, you can substitute here, and you can just choose anybody there, and they will substitute out, and away you go. At each quarter, you can see how people are doing. You can see whether, you know, what sort of a message you want to do. You can just encourage them. You can tell people if they are doing well and congratulate them. You can see if they're going to need to be substituted out. You can see how well they're doing on energy, etc. So yeah, it's not bad. It'd be nice if they had an auto resume, but I get why they don't. But that is Pro Basketball Manager. It's got a lot of options here. There's a lot of things to go through. There's a lot of control. There's a lot of micromanagement available. You can just hand it all to your assistant coach if you want to. But overall, it's pretty damn good. I'm pretty impressed. One thing I will say is the character models are the same. Very, very samey. They don't have a lot of variation in them, and it's the same with your player picture. There's not a lot to choose from, but that's not a real issue either. There is mod capability for the game as well, so hopefully people will come out with more mods for real character faces and stuff like that in the future. But there you are, guys. Let me know in those comments down below what you think. Let me know what you think they should add, whether you think this is a better version than last year's. Honestly, I kind of feel like it is. And I will see you all in the next video. Ciao, ciao.